Welcome to For Better or For Court, Family Law in New Jersey.
Welcome back to For Better or For Court, Family Law in New Jersey with Miss Alix Claps. Alix is a partner at Heyman and Fletcher and a certified matrimonial law attorney helping New Jersey families navigate divorce, custody, and complex family matters with clarity and care. I'm Evan Mack, and today Alix is talking about how to choose the right New Jersey family law attorney and why this is critical to a case. Miss Alix, welcome back.
Hi, Evan. How are you?
I'm well. Alix, you are a certified matrimonial law attorney, a title held by only a small percentage of New Jersey lawyers. What does this rigorous certification process actually mean for a client's case, my dear?
It means I know what I'm doing in a nutshell. I mean, you do have to jump through a lot of hoops to get your certification. You have to have been practicing. They say, I think it's at least 5 years, but everybody I know who's done the certification has been practicing in family law significantly longer because you have to have achieved a certain level of experience within a certain amount of time. So you have to fill out a whole application which has like a 3-year look back period. You have to have done a certain number of trials. You have to have settled a certain number of cases. You have to have presented a whole bunch of motions. You need to get peer reviews, but by which I mean you have to put down adversaries on cases that get called or sent a survey or something like that from the Supreme Court certification committee. Judges weigh in on whether they think you're competent in the area that you want to get certified in. If you pass all that, you meet that threshold, then you have to take an exam. And the exam goes through various hypotheticals that could come up in family law, and you have to present a position on them. It's a handwritten exam, which is perhaps the most horrifying thing. Have you ever seen a lawyer's handwriting? But you go through all that, and if they think, yep, you know what you're doing, then you are officially a certified family or matrimonial law attorney by the Supreme Court of New Jersey.
Wow. Why is it risky to hire a general practice, someone who, takes any case that walks in, as opposed to, a specialized family matter in New Jersey?
Family law in particular is an area where you don't want a lawyer who's just dabbling. I mean, it's your family. It's your future. It's your children's future. And as much as your practitioner might be good at their area of the law, family has a lot of nuance, both procedurally and substantively. You may go in and assume you know what's going to happen in your case because such and such happened to your friend, whether they're in New Jersey or not. But it's extremely case specific. It's hard to predict what the appropriate outcome is because family, again, is not a court of law. It's a court of equity. So you're approaching it differently than you would a car accident or a dispute about a landlord-tenant issue. It's very different.
So how much does it matter if an attorney has a regular presence in a specific county, like Morris or Essex, and then familiar with the local judges and the tendencies and things like that?
It can be helpful. I will not lie. Like I do most of the northern swath of New Jersey. I do Warren to Hudson, and I go, from Sussex to about Somerset. Not to say I couldn't do a case in Cape May County or Atlantic County or Camden County, but if I need to go in person, it's an awful lot of time you're paying me to drive. And also, I don't know the judges, I don't know the court staff, I don't know who the person is to talk to in the courthouse if I'm trying to get a certified copy of something. Those are the little things that don't give you necessarily a substantive advantage, but are really helpful in making the things run more smoothly. That can be the aggravations that you're constantly coming across. So I know the Morris County judges, I know the Sussex County judges, I know the Essex County judges, I know everybody across northern New Jersey, and that does help from a personality standpoint. They see me in their courtrooms and they understand that I am presenting a case. I am a trustworthy individual. I'm not going to lie to the court. They can depend. I'm an officer of the court and I understand that, and they understand that about me. So that does help. But I think the ordinary progression, the little bits of knowing just who to talk to comes in particularly handy.
Every client wants that, fighter, but what is the danger of hiring an overly aggressive attorney who favors that litigation over maybe mediation or arbitration?
Well, in family law, you are getting sent to mediation at some point in your case, whether it's at the beginning of the case or after your early settlement panel, whether it's an issue is brought on a single motion that the judge says, go to mediation first, you're going to have to mediate at some point. So if you don't want that just to be a gigantic waste of time and energy and money, you've got to have an attorney who is willing to help craft a successful agreement. Additionally, an overly aggressive attorney, usually they create problems where none exist.
Mm,
I'm fine with litigating your issues. Sometimes you can't solve everything in mediation. And
mm.
I have no problem going to court and arguing the motion, filing the order to show cause, or going through the trial. But there's got to be a reason why it's gotten to that point. I mean, and that's not unique to family law too. If I'm doing a civil case and it can be settled, it's usually better to settle it because then everybody knows exactly where they stand. There's a lot of risk that comes with going into a courtroom and letting a judge or a jury make a decision.
So in an initial consultation, what are the red flags that a lawyer is just telling a client what they want to hear, just to get that retainer and just to get that business?
If your lawyer guarantees anything in the initial consult, I would run, because you can't guarantee. You don't have enough information to guarantee anything. I rarely in a case guarantee anything no matter what stage we're at because there are too many. Again, it's a court of equity. There are too many factors to be able to say absolutely. I can tell you what the law is. I can tell you what I have seen happen in similar outcomes. I can say what I think a court will do at the end of the day, but I can't guarantee anything. I'm not going to guarantee you 10 years of alimony. I don't know enough about your case. I don't know enough about the whole context. And by the time we get to a trial, it could be 3 years from now. The law could change again. The law is constantly evolving. So if you go into a consult with a family law attorney and they guarantee you a specific outcome, they do not know what they're doing.
So since no one can quote an exact price, what questions should a client ask to understand, the fee structure and in the billing cycle?
The question I get that I absolutely cannot answer is how long will it take and how much will it cost? The shortest way I can describe it is it will take as long and cost as much as the least reasonable person in the case wants it to. So I have gotten cases done in 30 days because everybody has come in good faith and we've negotiated an outcome and we've put it through a settlement and then we filed the paperwork and gone to the court. I have had cases stretch on for 4, 5, 6 years because someone was unreasonable. And generally, the unreasonable person is why it goes to trial and it does not end well for them because they're unreasonable. Um, Often we'll have check-in points with clients. So I can't tell you how much it's going to cost at the beginning. I can get an idea of what are we fighting over by several steps into the case. Once you fill out your case information statement, if they are glaringly different, then I know, okay, we have fundamental different ideas about the facts of your marriage. So that's going to be a problem. If it's a matter of we agree on the facts and we are disputing what they mean, that's a different kind of problem. That's resolved differently, so I can predict in a different way how long that's going to take. For my firm, you pay an upfront retainer, and my hourly rate gets billed against that retainer. And after that's exhausted, which I'll say more often than not it is. I would love to solve all of my cases within the retainer and give you money back at the end of the day. I'd love for your case to be easily resolved and for you to move on with your life. Like, I'd love it if everybody's worked out all their problems and I did nothing but estate administration. But that's not how it is. People need lawyers, and people who need lawyers who are going to help them resolve their issues. So that's what I'm focused on. Focused on
Mm.
being efficient, which isn't to say fast or sloppy, but getting the maximum return on your investment in the case, which is
Mhm.
ultimately what your retainer is.
But beyond the resume, how important is that, that personality fit? Since family law is so personal, what signs indicate that an attorney-client rapport, is actually there?
You have to be really comfortable with your family law attorney because they are going to know everything about you. They are going to know, the dirty laundry. They're also going to know all of your financial picture. They've got to be somebody you feel comfortable communicating with, telling everything to. I mean, I'm not your therapist, not gonna overstep there, but I've got to know certain things. I've got to know how you're feeling, and you've got to feel comfortable telling me
Right.
how you're feeling about if a settlement proposal comes in, what are you comfortable about? What are you not comfortable about? And I'm going to tell you honestly what I think about it. When I think you're wrong, I will tell you you're wrong. So
Mm.
if I'm going to be your attorney, you have to be comfortable hearing that. If you want someone who's just going to say, yes, I'll do whatever you want, that's not me. Go find a different attorney. You will pay them lots of money. There are plenty of attorneys who do that very happily. That's not what I'm here for. You are paying for a counselor. That's why in court, the judge addresses us as counselor. That's part of our job, is to advise you as a client. And so you have to be comfortable with that rapport.
So if someone is listening to this and they feels overwhelmed by, 50 Google results for New Jersey family lawyer, what is the very first actionable step they should take today, my dear?
I don't know if Google's the right place to find out anything about your attorney other than their geographical location. It is in this day and age likely that you have had a friend or several family member go through a divorce. Many of I don't know if it's most, but many of my current clients have come to me on the recommendation of former clients. So ask your friends who they used. You'll hear some bad stories and you'll hear some good stories. I have been recommended by parties on the other side who were impressed with how I handled the case, both family and civil. I have gotten divorce clients from civil adversaries because they trust me with their friends or family. Not because I agreed with them on that civil case, but because I was a trustworthy adversary. So ask your friends. There are a whole bunch of local Facebook groups and other, mechanism groups. I'm sure there's groups on all sorts of social media networks where all we do are recommend plumbers and electricians and lawyers and house cleaners and everybody. So you'll get feedback through there as well. But learn what you and then go talk to them. Go for an initial consultation and see what the vibe is. But don't just trust a Google result, especially because I find Google reviews are absolutely worthless. You're going to get people writing reviews who have not actually been clients of the firm. You're going to get people who are angry because they were on the other side of a case. And they're very rarely an accurate reflection of a firm's worth or value to you.
Yes, Alix, thank you.
Thank you.
That's a wrap on today's episode on For Better or For Court. Thanks to Alix Claps for breaking down how to choose the right family law attorney in New Jersey. For more guidance, visit HeymanFletcherLaw.com. Subscribe and join us next time for more insights to help families navigate these important decisions with clarity and care. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.